All right. You got a name?
Spork.
I've been waiting for an hour.
I'm going to give that one a veto.
Spork.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of Eat Sleep Nerd as we explore Star Trek Adventures, the tabletop role-playing game. In this episode, we create our characters as we get ready to embark on this journey together. Before we get into this episode, make sure you head on over to youtube.com/@eatsleepnerd to click subscribe, click like on this video, leave some comments if you want to join in the conversation, and share us with your friends and family. Now, before we get into it, I'm your dorky DJ, Corey Winter, and joining me for this role-playing game, we have our Star Trek crew.
Hey.
We have Jason Summer. We have Nick Murphy. We have Josh Winter, our game master. Is that what we're calling you?
Yes.
Game master.
I get two.
And we have my fiance, Cynthia Taylor.
Woohoo.
Woohoo! Woo. All right, first time ever, we're playing a tabletop game.
Yep.
And we're learning it together. We have not played this before. Josh, you are our instructor today.
Yes.
So, what is this all about?
Is this the tabletop?
That is the tabletop in question, Nicholas.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I'm already behind. I thought this was the top of the table.
See,
So we're on the same.
Yeah.
Why have the table turned?
Oh, how the turntables.
Thank you.
So we have a new table.
Talk more about
Yes.
So- this is not how I thought
I'm
this was going to go.
sorry, I'm sorry.
No,
Don't
this is
worry.
exactly how you thought this was.
You gave us the most boring prop in the universe.
I need more information about this. This I don't. Okay, go ahead.
So Star Trek Adventures, we are playing the second edition.
This is relatively new.
Okay.
The game has been out for a while now, 4 or 5 years, I think. And second edition has only been out a couple of months. This is like I said, pretty new. So it's in the vein of all the great tabletop games, the most popular one being Dungeons and Dragons. And the idea is pretty basic and pretty old. The game master, myself in this case, will craft a story. You guys have created characters that you will roleplay as, and it's cooperative storytelling. It's actually really neat. There's nothing else like it in the world. And while I do get to set up the episode and hopefully think of most of the things that could happen, it is collaborative. I don't know how it's going to end. I know what the endings could be, but we don't know what's going to happen because you guys decide what's going to happen. You and fate, because it is dice-based.
Mm.
So today we're doing, I guess we could call it session 0, is what I've seen online a few times. Today we're just getting set up. The character creation process is pretty robust for this game. They do highly encourage like actual role-playing. It is not so much what you would do in that situation, it's what your character would do in that situation. Now, you do get to create your character, so hopefully you'll be able to speak to what they would do. But yeah, it is actual role-playing. If everything goes according to plan, we're going to possibly create a motion comic out of all of this, which would be awesome. My dream is to make it look like an episode of The Next Generation, just with a crew you've never seen before. But yeah, we're going to start with character creation, and we will go from there.
Cool.
So it's a learning experience for all of us. So hopefully you learned something while watching this. And if maybe you've played the game before and you have some tips for us, let us know in the comments. We would really appreciate that. But if you enjoy what we do here tonight, hopefully come back for some more of these videos in the future where we actually start doing these stories in these sessions. So, Josh, where are we beginning?
So I've already sent you the link for a character creator.
Yep.
But before we do that, I think we are going to hash out what roles we would like to do on the starship so that we don't have overlapping
Responsibility.
Yeah, that's maybe the best word for it. There is a system in play where we can generate supporting characters on the fly. So if we do have a gap, it's not a huge deal. There's a system in place for that. But at the same time, the ship doesn't need 4 doctors, you know? So we'll go with that. So the way
a medical ship.
I'm gonna make a medical episode just for that. But
Can we sing in it like Grey's Anatomy?
Is there a musical episode?
Yeah.
there was a musical episode of Star Trek, so
Yes, there is.
absolutely we could do it. And it was kind of a banger.
awesome,
Yeah, it was kind of a banger. So no, the way I see it, a balanced crew in this case would have for the first episode a commanding officer, an XO, a number 2, because the captain in this case is going to be an NPC. So
NPC being
a non-playing character. So
Good.
that's an excellent question. So every character in the game that is not y'all will be me, as far as voicing and telling what happens.
So you're like Tom Hanks in Polar Express.
I'm going to be the Tom Hanks in Polar Express of Star Trek Adventures. Yes, and since the first episode is definitely very much going to be a tutorial of all of us learning how to play, I think it would be best if your commanding officer is not one of you. So, but that being said, I want to set it up so that the second episode we can move forward with one of you being the commanding officer. So,
Sure.
one of the characters is going to be the XO, the number 2, the Riker of the group, a medical officer, and then we kind of have your choices as far as an operations lead, a chief engineer, which I definitely think we should have a chief engineer, and a security officer. So it is worth noting we're missing Christian.
Yeah.
Christian does want to play though. So whatever role we don't want to do, Christian could fill in.
Isn't he like in North Carolina or something?
He's doing something this weekend. I don't know. He has a life outside of this, believe it or not. I know,
So I already
right?
have kind of the roles I think people would kind of fit into well, so I want to see if they would agree.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay, so let's start at the top.
Yeah.
Who would want to be the XO?
honestly,
Who do you think the XO is going to be?
honestly, I kind of feel like that'd be Nick. You kind of take charge with stuff.
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
How many times have you said, I'll send that email?
I don't. Wait, to y'all?
No,
Oh, no, I don't.
I was actually thinking Jason.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
here's my second pick. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Jason, would you be comfortable being the XO?
yeah, sure.
Because you,
Don't be too excited.
you got that. You got
Yeah,
that lived
sure.
experience.
I'll be in charge.
Sorry.
Corey was hoping for an easy editing on this one.
That one's fine. Anyway, yeah, I would agree with that. Jason,
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
what
Yes,
why are
I'll-
you hesitant about that?
I part of it is I think the XO is kind of what I would gravitate toward personally, to as a character to play, and I was thinking about maybe doing something that would be uncharacteristic for me as a character.
Actor.
But
He is an actor.
but
All right, Oldman.
but
What do you want to do?
but no. But I think
What do you think? It's slow horses?
I'm thinking this will be fine. And yes, so that's what we'll do. This is good.
Tabletop.
No, I want you to have fun though. If you don't want to be the XO,
I've got an idea of how I want to play this.
okay. You have an authoritative beard. I'm going to put your beard in the game.
Is it freaks like?
It is
I was
very.
about to say
It's
it
very
is
Frakesian.
Freaksian.
Yes, freak.
Jason has mixed emotions about Jonathan Frakes right now.
Which-
It's
but
still
like-
too fresh.
But like, yeah, that's warranted.
Yeah.
So we got Jason as our XO. Who's
Jason's
next?
XO. Do we want to do medical officer next?
I do not want that.
Absolutely, I want that.
I was gonna.
I kind of thought she
100%.
would. Yeah. Okay.
Undeniably.
Tight.
I would fight for it.
So,
Okay.
fun fact: they actually have charts set up that we can randomly roll dice
Wow.
to do techno jargon and medical jargon, so that it just generates it, so you can
That's
sound
great.
like you know what you're doing.
That's funny.
It's like the warp coupler is frazzled. Like it's actually pretty neat. Okay, so we've got our XO, we have our chief medical officer. We would need a security officer, an operations officer, and a chief engineer.
Can you explain what all those do?
Yes. Chief engineer is responsible for literally keeping the ship running. So in classic Star Trek, that was Scotty yelling, "I'm giving her all she's got, Captain!" And just like, just constantly trying to hold that sun gun together.
He's like,
okay. Yes.
Was he called Scotty because he's Scottish?
His name is Scott Montgomery. Yeah, or Montgomery Scott. But yes, he was Scottish. It was lazy writing.
Okay.
Yeah, it was lazy writing.
Okay,
but it was good. He's beloved.
So to me, that kind of sounds like a Christian.
It could be. Geordie LaForge is the TNG chief engineer. He's
Data would be another.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. Okay,
so
gotcha.
so yeah. When something happens to the ship, so like in space battles, that's going to be a really big deal
Mhm.
because they're going to
You
like
get hit
that
by
is
something. He's
correct.
The guy who fixes it.
yeah, like
Or
it's
Yeah.
naval combat, right?
Gotcha.
Just because the ship is broken, that doesn't end it. We got to
Right.
fix it while it's falling apart,
yes, he should.
or you all die.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a big deal.
Kind of sounds like what Corey was doing with all the
Yes, Corey
The
chief
setup today.
engineers all the setup every day.
yeah.
Like a lot of the times,
I have a thought about Corey though. That's not chief engineer.
No, I don't want to be chief
Yeah.
engineer. Yeah,
okay. So have we decided that Christian will be the chief engineer?
probably. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then we have the.
I just saw him running around the ship going, "Ah!" Sorry.
Christian, what are we gonna do? Okay, look.
He go,
Give me like 10.
yeah.
This is gonna end up being a lower decks episode. So then we have security officer, chief of security, and that's pretty self-explanatory. Anything that would require an actual authoritative presence on the ship. So that could be escorting someone who's important to make sure they stay safe, or repelling a boarding party, or
Do they do the beaming up?
no,
That'd
that
be-
would fall either, and it kind of depends and it changes kind of based on who's around. It would either be the operations officer, because your operations officer is the catch-all.
Okay.
They literally just keep things functioning from a procedure standpoint. So like your operations officer would set rotation schedules on the ship.
I feel like
On the ship, they would handle what's coming on and leaving the ship.
it's like a
they
problem
would-
solving person.
Correct. They literally make it is a logistics department. They make sure everything is running the way the captain wants it
I
ran.
feel like I would be.
So I was thinking Nick operations,
You were not.
and then me security.
I was thinking that as well. Both on both.
I think it fits well.
Yeah.
But to answer your question about the beaming,
we're supporting. We're agreeing with you. Why are you like?
I just
No, I don't know.
you know what? Now that y'all say it, I don't like it.
I just
What would you want to be?
no. I think logistics people would be good for me.
Okay.
So we got, I think, our team.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
I'm assuming you're the de facto security
Security.
chief.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Who would like to go first as far as creating your character?
Corey.
Corey.
Oh, what? I was going to say Cynthia. She was
Nope.
very
Corey.
excited about
Nope.
it.
Corey.
Nope.
Corey.
Corey.
Okay. Well, I'm going to come stand with you so that we can
Okay.
do it together.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to use this tool that I stumbled onto earlier. It's actually really killer. It is sta.bch or bchomes.org. This guy is an absolute lifesaver. He's actually built a character creator so that we don't have to flip through hundreds, literally, of pages just to build your character. So we will start over here. I highly recommend you guys give this dude a follow. Even when he asks for money, he's super polite. I think he might be Canadian. He's just like, hey, if you want to drop some money, that'd be great. Otherwise, I hope you like it. Like, it's just super nice. Anyway, so we actually get to pick what references we're going to use. So we are doing Core 2nd Edition.
What was the second one that you clicked on?
It gives extra options for shipbuilding, which in this particular case, we don't really need because I've already built your ship for you. By the way,
Got it.
you were the crew of the USS Roosevelt.
Okay.
Yes,
Teddy or
Teddy.
okay.
It's authoritative. Anyway, we picked our era. We are going to do it in the TNG era. The rule system and skills available do change based on what era of Trek you're playing in, which is really cool. So there are like some skills that you can have in the TNG that literally the technology did not exist yet in TOS. So we are playing in the TNG era,
What is TOS?
the original series.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. TOS is the original series. TNG is the next generation.
Yeah,
Those are the two most common.
So is it literally? So TOS happened before TNG.
Yeah, so TOS happened in the 23rd century or 22nd century, the 2180s, something like that. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments. But TNG is firmly in the 24th century.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's
I didn't know if they were like different eras or not. If they happened at the same
yeah,
time. But different places.
the jump from the last time we saw the TOS crew to when TNG starts is a little over 80 years.
Okay.
So TOS is going to be Kirk.
Right.
And okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that much.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
just,
Kirk, Spock.
Okay.
I thought that
Yeah.
they kind of like happened around the same time.
Oh,
they just,
yeah,
no.
They just
No,
existed in different places.
No, there's
Wasn't
actually
sure.
a huge technological leap from TOS to TNG.
Because I've seen
Um,
TNG. I haven't seen any of TOS. Like I don't know anything
For
about
this, it won't come into play too much.
Okay.
I do, if we keep doing this, there will, of course, be time travel shenanigans.
Mhm.
But because
Of
it's Star
course.
Trek, it can't not have time
Right.
travel
There
shenanigans.
always are.
But yeah, we'll get to that later on. So,
it. I'm down.
all right. We are playing as Starfleet officers, although the rules do exist for us to play as a Klingon ship or a Romulan ship, things like that. So if this takes off and you guys really enjoy it, we'll have multiple crews that we can
Do they
play
have
as.
Ferengi?
So you can play as a Ferengi.
A Ferengi.
They
but
do not have rule sets for Ferengi ships.
Okay.
Klingons are bad, right?
They are warrior-like. They're not inherently bad.
Okay.
They're
They're just about their business.
yeah.
And if
I
you
mean,
get in the way,
it's-
then you're in the way.
there are two eras in the series is that they have been our enemies.
Okay.
One was a pretty big deal, and the other time was actually relatively short-lived. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the themes of Star Trek is generally there's not usually a bad guy; it's a
Mhm.
disagreement, which is good because that's, in my opinion, the best narration is
Sure.
the best bad guys don't think they're bad guys.
Yeah. That's why wrestling has lived so long. Yeah.
Indeed. All right, so we are playing as Starfleet. We're going to do the vanilla option here and play as Starfleet. All right, Corey, first choice. You have to pick your species.
Cool.
And it's a pretty robust list. Some are really well known, some are kind of obtuse.
Robust.
But we have the Aenar, the Andorians, the Bajorans, the Betazoids, the Borg, which would be
Ferengi.
super
Ferengi.
interesting.
Yeah.
The Cardassians, the oh my gosh.
Cardass.
Denobulin.
Thank you. That is an interesting collection of consonants that I was struggling with. The Ferengi, the Ferengi, the humans, the
No,
Jem'Hadars,
Human.
the Human,
Uman.
the Jem'Hadar, the Klingons, the Orions, the Romulans, Tellarites, the Trill, the Vorta, and the Vulcans.
So what's this here in the
Okay, so in the middle, it tells you what book covers the rules and traits for that species. So it's just letting you know where it's pulling the stats from in case you wanted to ever cross-check.
It's like footnotes.
Yeah, he's literally showing his work.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, like, come at me, nerds. So anyway, that is not so much important. What is important over here is that you do get talent boosts based on your species.
Okay.
So, for example, Vulcans are incredibly logic and have a very high reason skill. They're also 3 times stronger than a human.
I was joking this morning about Corey making a Ferengi character.
Did you rub his lobes?
36th rule of acquisition.
All right, keep going down.
I will not go further with that statement.
So is there like a recommendation?
So obviously humans are the easiest ones for us to roleplay as. You
Yeah.
would not have to do a lot of roleplaying as far as like special history and things like that. You also get a little bit more customization with humans. They're kind of the catch-all characters.
Sure.
So like a lot of these give you fixed bonuses. Like again, the Vulcans are a very specific set of bonuses and skills that you can do. Humans, you get to pick 3 additional bonuses. Like just from a list.
I think I'm going to start with human.
Okay. Human.
Human.
So this is the part where we actually start getting into stats. So for your attributes, these are your high level skills, right? So you've got control, daring, fitness, insight, presence, and reason. You get to pick 3 that you can have a bonus to.
Let's go with control,
Okay.
insight, and reason.
I'm gonna interject.
Fine.
So you are going to be the security chief. I would argue that the security chief's fitness rating should be pretty high.
Am I gonna do a lot of running?
Well, so fitness will be anything physical you have to do.
So yeah.
So running, or if you got into a fight, or if you were battling with a melee weapon.
And
Okay, so let's do fitness.
Mhm.
Would you recommend I go reason instead of control?
So reason is going to be essentially your intelligence level.
Yeah.
Control is kind of like precision in this game. So if you need to do something accurately, you would want a very high control. So again, being in a fight, or more importantly for this would play into like phasers.
Okay.
Because you want to be accurate with a phaser.
Jason Bourne stuff.
Well, then we'll keep it as is.
So your species ability is Faith of the Heart.
Oh God.
When you use one of your values to spend or gain determination, you may add 1 momentum to the group pool.
Yay.
Okay.
We all benefit.
Is it too woke for you, Jason?
No, it's just the theme song sucked.
Oh,
What?
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Faith of the Heart.
Strong
It-
reaction.
It's an
Yeah, it
Enterprise
really
thing.
was.
It is. There's a series called Enterprise, which was set before the original series, and they actually had a
It's known for 2 things.
right,
1, a smoking hot Vulcan. And 2,
a really
it had a theme song with like lyrics
yeah,
and stuff.
and it was just a myth.
Instead of just, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And it's called Faith of the Heart.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Anywho.
This
Sorry.
is fun. I'm learning.
Okay. Next, we're going to pick your environment. So literally where you grew up. Your choices being on your home world. So in your case, Earth,
Okay.
a busy colony, an isolated colony, a frontier colony where there's basically no support and you're on your own. You're just kind of dumped there. Starship or starbase, or another species world. So like, for example, if you were forced to grow up on Vulcan for some reason. And
So
this
you gotta
will
get-
change.
yeah.
Yeah, this will come into the bonuses you get. So you could get attributes to almost anything if you're on your home world, which would make sense. You get to kind of grow up in whatever environment you wanted to. And then you also get bonuses to disciplines, which are like, or your departments rather.
Okay. So I'm gonna go frontier colony.
Okay. So what we know so far about you is you're a human. You grew up on a very remote colony. This might be something on the edge of the Federation or even beyond the Federation's borders. So it's going to be interesting that you decided to enlist in Starfleet, because the 2 ways you could look at it is maybe you aspired to that, to be part of something big and grand because you weren't part of that growing up. Or it could be extra interesting if you joined them after feeling dejected because they probably weren't around very much when you were on a frontier colony. So already it's building up a character backstory, and you get to kind of pick how that goes. But you do get to pick one of your attributes, either control or fitness, that got a bonus because of your upbringing.
Let's go fitness.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. You're out on your own. You probably don't have a lot of tech. You probably don't even have very many replicators.
Yeah.
Balin Hay. Hell.
So you probably had to do a lot of manual labor. So that makes sense. It would give you literally a stronger body. So this is the first time we're talking about departments. So the departments that could come into play would be con, which is basically your command, your ability to issue orders and be tactful.
James.
Security, which again is your main focus, and then medicine. So you get to pick one of those that gets an additional bonus.
Let's do con.
James Con.
Okay. This is also where we introduce values. So values should reflect the environment and the culture of the character was raised in. This is a good opportunity to consider how the character views their own culture and how they connect or possibly don't connect to the philosophies and traditions of their people. So this is neat because unlike a lot of games where you have to pick a very specific rule, when it comes to values, it could be anything you want. And it's just narratively later on, if that comes into play, you have to decide whether you're going to embrace the value that you have or you're going to shrug it off. And there are different bonuses or takeaways that will occur based on what you choose.
Okay.
So like if we randomly generate one, just to give you an idea, A good mystery is irresistible. Doesn't really have much to do with this, I feel like. But push me too far and you'll see my ugly side.
Ooh.
Okay.
That could be a good one. You grew up in a very harsh environment. You probably had to fight a little bit for what you wanted. You're a nice guy, but if you push it, you're going to find out.
Okay.
I would keep that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But you get the idea. Like, it can be anything. We can type any phrase you want.
Sure.
But that's a pretty good randomly generated one.
Yeah, I like that.
So this guy put this together as
Yeah.
a dashboard?
Yeah.
Wow, this is really impressive.
Yeah. Like I said, go to this website, find this guy. He's got a Patreon. Buy him a coffee or something. Like, this is actually really cool. So, early outlook. The nature of a person's family and their surroundings as they grow up can have a massive impact upon them, and whether they accept the influence or rebelled against it, it will shape the rest of their lives. So, these are the upbringings available to you. Agricultural or like a rural upbringing, artistic and creative, business or trade, diplomacy and politics, science and technology, or Starfleet. So some of these to me wouldn't make sense for what we've said so far, but it is an option and narratively we'll figure it out. But for the sake of role playing, I would lean one way or the other, but I'm not going to tell you what to do.
I think I like diplomacy and politics.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. So from a narrative standpoint, you grew up on this really remote colony. You had to fight to do a lot of what you wanted to do all on your own. It was very hard. It was literally physically demanding. But every time one of the ambassadors showed up or every time Starfleet showed up, it was probably really exciting for you one way or the other. So the thing is, this character has been exposed to the complexities and political thought and nuances of diplomacy since they were young, perhaps because a family member was involved in these fields. Do you accept or rebel against your upbringing? So all we've decided is that you were exposed to this a lot. Did you like it or did you freaking hate it?
I think you would like it, Corey.
I think I would like it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, you follow rules.
Also, you're a security officer.
So you don't pick anything here, but it did let you know that you got 2 bonuses to some of your attributes. You got an additional one to control, and you got 2 additional to presence.
Cool.
So you do have an authoritative presence at this point.
So if you guys had clicked reject, that probably would have changed those. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay. You do get to pick a department again to get a boost to. I would remind you at this point that you are a security officer.
Let's go security.
Okay.
You can click it. Click it. Thank you.
All right. All right. So at this point, you get to pick a focus. So focuses relate to your departments and your values that you've picked.
Interrogation.
And it, okay. Again, this is another one. This is another one that can be anything.
Yeah.
And just when a situation that involves that comes up, you'll get bonuses to it. But again, given your position, interrogation will probably come into play.
Is there a random generator for this as well?
There is, just if you want to see a couple.
Yeah.
Small unit tactics, Starfleet protocols, espionage, philosophy, precision targeting, pickpocketing.
Cool.
Yeah. Now, this is where it starts getting a little heavy.
Okay.
Heavy. So at this point, we are picking your talents. You only get a few of these. I think by end of character creation, you have like 3, maybe 4. But these are areas from a narrative standpoint that you excelled in, that you were very, very good at. From a gameplay standpoint, this is the area where, depending on what you pick, you get to bend or straight up break rules within the game because of you excelling in a certain area.
Okay.
So there's a billion on here that we're not going to read. This might be a place where you just edit to you picking one. So collaboration is interesting. If someone is trying to do something, because teamwork is such a big part of Star Trek, if someone is attempting to do a task, if someone else is present in the scene and has stats that relate to it, you can assist with that. And so there are talents that come in with that. You're so good at essentially being helpful that you get bonuses to doing that.
Constantly watching.
Okay.
That one jumped out at me.
At the start of an action scene, the game master may spend 2 additional threat to have an NPC take the first turn. You may also reroll 1d20 on any task attempted to locate a hidden enemy or danger.
Danger.
It's basically your head's on a swivel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Sounds fitting.
The years spent at Starfleet Academy are some of the most memorable and definitive of an officer's life, shaping the direction of their career going forward. Basically, you get to pick what department you joined in Starfleet.
Let's go command.
All right, you get to pick another attribute, or excuse me, 3 attributes that get a bonus.
Oh, let's do reason. Let's bump up fitness. And we'll do control.
Okay, you get to pick a primary discipline one more time to get a boost. So command would be, again, your ability to give orders, take command of a situation. Con is literally your ability to control ships. So I don't know if we're going to have any other pilots in the group. That might not be a bad one to focus on.
Okay.
Because you are going to have a commanding officer.
So let's do that.
Okay. You're the security officer who's also a darn good pilot. Maybe that's what you focused on when you were in the academy. And then something happened and you just shifted to security.
Okay.
And then for secondary disciplines, you get to pick one additional one to get a bonus on.
Let's do security. Bump it all the way up. Oh. Well, there's still plus.
I guess more.
That's interesting. All right, we'll pick another one then. We're just giving them away.
Command. There you go.
Okay.
This is in depth.
But by the end of this, you're going to have a sheet that tells you everything about your character. Like, if something happened and we had to bring in someone else, we could literally hand them your sheet, and theoretically, they would play the character the same way.
Okay.
So, you get to pick 3 more focuses.
Whoa, generate those.
Astronavigation,
Nah.
ship design and
Yeah.
construction, Starfleet protocols. That would make sense for a security officer.
Yeah, that makes.
Subspace theory, and not so much. Glancing impact,
No.
persuasion,
Ooh, I like that one.
Mm.
small craft.
Let's see.
Oh, it came back to
Yeah.
persuasion. Okay.
Done deal.
Survival. Okay.
Like that one.
All right, you get to pick another value again, which is another short phrase or word that defines how your character, a belief that your character has. So, for example, randomly generated again, willing to sacrifice myself to save my crew. Good leaders get their hands dirty. I finish what I start. We're all connected despite being worlds apart.
Trust but verify.
You get to pick another talent. I'm going to scroll to the bottom of the list since you already saw a lot of these. So Get Down is specifically for security. You and any allies within close range gain +1 protection while in
Ooh,
cover.
That sounds helpful.
All right, career length.
I'm experienced.
You are
I'm a
experienced.
vet. What are the other options?
So novice is fresh out of the academy. This might be your first posting.
No.
Okay, I was going to say, to be in charge of security, I would have questions. Experienced, you've been doing this a few years now.
I'm a vet.
Vet would be decades of experience.
I'm experienced.
thought
I'm young.
Okay.
You said fat. I was like, okay, sheesh.
That's good for security.
Yep.
Mhm.
Tough would be a good one. You get a maximum stress increase of 2.
Ooh, okay, let's do that.
So does that mean that you're not as stressed? You don't get as stressed?
So you have they do injuries and damage pretty interestingly in this game. So you have a maximum number of stress. Once that stress is completely filled up, the only way to lower it is to either end the scene or essentially agree to be injured. So narratively, that would come into play as you're so stressed out that while you were trying to fix the panel, you weren't paying attention, it shorted out, and you've burned yourself.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that kind of snaps you out of it. You're going to start paying more attention now,
Mhm.
but that might only take away like 2 stress or
your faces,
something.
yeah,
Yeah. And now you're injured. So there's other issues coming into play. Okay. Career events. So your career is a tapestry of events and experiences, but amongst this, a few have been pivotal moments in your life. Define which moments of your life are important in retrospect and what seemed definitive to an ensign in their early 20s may be inconsequential to that same officer decades later. So, betrayed ideals for a superior, breakthrough or invention, called out a superior, conflict.
How many we pick?
You get to pick 2.
Okay.
So you betrayed your ideals for a superior. Basically, you went against what you believe because you were commanded to. Breakthrough or an invention, called out a superior, conflict with a hostile culture, dealing with a plague,
Go on.
conflict with a hostile
Yeah.
culture. Words. All right, so that gave you a bonus to your fitness because basically you've seen some stuff. And it gave you a bonus to security because you've had to fight. All right. And what do you think is a focus you might have garnered from that?
Hand-to-hand combat.
All right. Dealing with the plague, death of a friend, discovers an artifact, encounter with a truly alien being, like something that defies comprehension. First contact, lauded by another culture, learns unique language, mentored, negotiate a treaty, new battle strategy, required to take
battle strategy.
Okay.
That's so definitive.
So in
Commanding.
in combat with a hostile force, the character devised a new strategy or tactic.
It's my job.
Yeah. Not really, it would be a commander's job.
Whatever.
So you got +1 to your daring and another +1 to security.
Combat tactics.
All right, so you get a few final buffs. So you get to pick 2 more to get a final little bonus here as far as your attributes go.
Let's do presence and reason.
Okay, so you're not stupid. And then 2 of your disciplines. Your security is officially maxed out, and your con is as high as it can go for not being your focus.
Let's do command and science.
Okay, 1 more value and 1 more talent.
Generate that.
Information is power. The mission comes first. Act with confidence, even if you don't feel confident. You must walk barefoot in the dirt to really understand something.
Mission comes first.
All right, final talent. Randomly scrolling.
Have I done interrogation yet?
Nope.
Let's do that. Whew. Okay, my name. Ooh, I'm gonna bring it back to start my old Star Wars days. Let's do Rollin, Rullon. Is it full name?
Yeah.
Or Deo, or Ordeo.
I remember.
Don't assume my pronouns.
I did, though. All right. You get to pick your character's rank. I would say you could go as high as Lieutenant Commander, but I'm not going to let you go higher than that.
Okay. Let's go Lieutenant.
Okay, you don't need any more traits. You get to pick 1 pastime. Just fun. Something neat your character does. For example, Commander Riker played trombone. Data was always trying to do plays and poetry.
Ooh. Wood
Chuck.
Wood chucking. No. Carving of wood.
Woodworking.
Woodworking.
That's what you're looking
That's the
for.
one.
Nick Offerman.
Nick Offermaning.
I just realized I'm going to have a name ready to go, and that is the part I am so least prepared for and
wing
has
it.
the
That's what
most
I'm doing.
pressure of
Just wing
everything.
it.
And you must have done well. They knew you were the chief of security.
Nice.
I got to come up with a name. I got to get ready.
All right. Just as a reminder, your values: push me too far, you'll see my ugly side. Trust but verify. The mission comes first. Never leave a stone unturned.
All right, export that to PDF. We'll print that off shortly.
Stop yelling.
All right. So I've done my character, Josh. Who's going next? So you have your security officer.
We have our security officer who grew up on a frontier planet, had to work very hard, got excited when the diplomats in Starfleet came up. That's probably what inspired you to join in the first place. Yeah, at some point you got into conflict with a hostile culture, and I guess during that conflict, you invented a new way of attacking.
Okay. Well, while you have this pulled up, go ahead and walk us through this sheet.
Okay, so sheet's pretty straightforward. Gives your name, your pronouns, your rank, your assignment. I've already told you guys you're the proud crew of the USS Roosevelt.
Okay.
Gives you your character role, so you are the chief of security. Your reputation runs on a scale of 1 to 5, I believe. We'll put a note in if that's not right. You start with a reputation of 3. You are in good regard. You are in good standing. You're considered a good Starfleet officer. But you're not particularly notable. You're not good or bad. You're there. Okay?
I'm not notable.
You are as middle of the row as you can be. And that's important. And that actually ends up being a pretty big gameplay mechanic because, again, Star Trek is a post-resource or post-scarcity society. Everyone has all of their basic needs met. there is still currency, but it's usually to buy things that you don't have to have. So like things that are handmade the old-fashioned way instead of replicated, or things like that. Your value, your wealth as a human is in your reputation. So someone who decides to be a waiter and is the best waiter on the face of the planet, takes excellent care of their person, would be considered wealthier than an inventor that's a complete a-hole.
Okay.
Because you are considered to be contributing more to society by being the absolute best at something that today we would consider to be, I don't want to say menial, but not something you would normally get renowned for.
Yeah.
So that's actually a big deal. So everyone starts as a 3. And then depending on your actions, it can go up, down. If your reputation goes low enough, if you straight up defy Jason's orders, or if Jason goes rogue or something like that, we might have to have a trial episode because you can be court-martialed. So,
okay.
Anyway, and then it goes into all the things that we sorted out. So we know that you grew up on a frontier colony. We know that your upbringing was around diplomacy and politics. We know that your career path was the command track in Starfleet Academy. So you were a red shirt, but not that red shirt. You are experienced. You've probably been doing this 5, maybe 10 years. So you're probably about the age you are in real life. You are a lieutenant. You, again, had the career events of a conflict with a hostile culture in which you invented a new battle strategy. You get 13 stress, and then your attributes, your values, your talents, your focuses. Everything that we talked about, all the way down to the fact that in your spare time you do woodworking.
Heck yeah.
Is on your character sheet.
It's soothing.
And we'll save these in their PDF format because your values will change as we play. Something that's true this episode, something might happen that changes. And from then on, maybe that isn't how you feel anymore. So yeah.
All right. I think we need to get our second in command next, Jason. Mostly because I want to make sure he doesn't fall asleep. So
Mostly, can't make any promises.
So Jason,
our second in command. Have you given any thought?
Vulcan.
There you go.
Oh, he was ready for it. Okay.
I'm looking forward to Jason role-playing a Vulcan. I don't even mean that sarcastically. I'm actually really excited. All right, so that automatically out of the gate gives you bonuses to control, fitness, and reason. Sounds
spot on.
Logical.
Yep.
Sounds reasonable.
You also, as your species ability, get mental discipline. While Vulcans have some psychic capabilities, they require training to use it effectively. Yes, you can take mind mold as a talent.
Nice.
Further, your maximum stress is based on your control instead of your fitness.
Okay. Got it.
And you may suffer 2 stress to avoid suffering any trait that represents an emotional state. So in a situation where normally you would be distressed or panicking or something like that, you can say, hey, for the cost of being slightly more stressed, I ignore the fact that we are panicking.
Got it.
Love that.
Yeah, I need that around.
Yeah.
I know, right? All right. Where were you brought up? Your home world, a busy colony, an isolated colony, a frontier colony, starship, or another species world?
Isolated colony.
Okay.
Is Indiana an option?
Yeah, it's an isolated colony. Okay, this character comes from a colony that is isolated from broader galactic society. Worlds like the Vulcan Monastery on Pajim use the vast distances between star systems as an opportunity for contemplative isolation, while others are settled because they represent unique research opportunities. These cultures of these colonies tend to focus on learning and introspection. Jason, excellent choice.
Yeah, let's go up insight.
Okay.
Engineering.
Okay. You may have to give Christian a hand one day, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. A value that reflects your environment and the culture the character was raised within.
Emotion plays no role in command decisions.
So how about we just shorten it? Emotion should play no role. Shout out to Jason for being the first one with a custom.
Hey.
What?
Shut up.
You had plenty.
It's not a detraction against you. It's praise for Jason. What was life like on your isolated colony? How were you brought up?
Flat.
Potatoes.
It was.
Wait, that's Idaho.
It was artistic and creative.
Okay.
Do.
character's life was filled with arts and creativity of all kinds, and no matter what pursuits the character favors, they are exposed to the great works of many cultures and given every opportunity to express themselves. Did you accept or rebel against your upbringing?
Accepted.
That gives you a +2 to presence and a +1 to insight. You are now at
Nice.
9 in
Cool.
both categories. So again, your departments, you get to select one to get a bonus 2.
Well, considering I'm the XO, command sounds like the way to go.
Roll Tide. Okay, so what did you focus on at the academy?
Oh, let's do some random generation.
Art, Starfleet protocol,
Protocols.
astronavigation, inspiration, deception, inspiration, composure, law, team dynamics.
Yeah, let's do multi-discipline. That seemed to work. Astronavigation.
Okay.
We're an exploratory organization.
Oh, good call. Good call.
Value.
Again, these are short phrases. So maybe a short phrase that defined your time at the academy, something you learned and now you live by.
Logic will light the darkness.
Ooh, look at
Jeez.
you being all poetical. I love it. One more value, Jason. You got another one in you?
Treat all life as sentient.
Dang.
Yeah.
Jason with the words.
He's doing great.
These are very Star Trek words and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Career events. 2 moments in your career that defined who you are.
Negotiate a treaty.
Okay. Gives you a +1 to control and a +1 to command.
First contact would be cool.
It would be.
Vulcans do be doing that.
You know what? Actually, that falls in line with my thoughts on this. So yes, first contact.
Okay. Gives you +1 to presence.
Okay.
You get to pick another discipline. So how you use your skills.
Science.
And another focus. Again, this is a narrative thing that might
Another
come up
focus.
in a given situation. Like, oh man, my character knows specifically about
right.
that. Like,
mythology.
okay.
Cultural mythology. Cultural mythology.
Cultural.
Well, I'm trying to like you can kind of grab a quick concept of a
Why cultures believe things. that
yeah,
they-
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that. The way I see it and the way I've seen it explained is focuses are the way you kind of get to stick it to me as the game master. So
Yeah.
I might
Yeah.
say, hey, for this situation, you're trying to open the door. This would be like really good for Christian, but you're trying to open this door. It's a difficulty 3 on your roll. He goes, it's a Vulcan door, and I studied Vulcan doors before. I have a focus in Vulcan technology. So no, I think it's a difficulty of 2.
Got it.
And as long as it narratively makes sense, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you know what? You're right.
Okay.
You know a little bit extra about that.
So if I know, like, if I'm dealing with a difficult race
Mhm.
and I understand their mythology, I can interject that into
Yeah.
how I interact with
yeah,
them.
you're having trouble negotiating something like
Right.
that. You say, look,
Exactly.
man, I understand very quickly how different cultures can think. Okay, you're
Right.
right.
Yeah.
It should be a little easier for you.
Yes.
You are the captain.
Oh, I thought I was
Oh well,
the
yeah,
XO.
you're the commander. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. You're gonna be the captain.
You are the captain
Spoiled.
now.
All right. You got a name?
Spork. I've been waiting for an hour.
Well, that's the intro. Thank you.
No,
I'm gonna give that one a veto.
Yeah, that's,
All these
Josh was
wise
like,
Shakespearean
no.
words, and then spork.
Mlave. MLAVE.
What'd you guy do for a pastime?
Take a
Baseball.
loot. No.
baseball.
Yes, the Vulcan
Please.
baseball playing Vulcan.
Spork the baseball player.
Gymnastics.
Culinary arts.
Knitting. Oh, culinary.
Did you say mating?
Knitting.
Knitting.
Oh. I've learned to mate quite well. Particularly good at it.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Wasn't it? Is it Vulcans that's like every 7 years, or is that a different race?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
you're
that's
right, yeah,
every 7
yeah.
years.
Ponfar.
Oh, she knows something.
All right. Who
Watch
wants to
me
go
take
next?
the longest. Me.
Okay.
Okay.
I have so many ideas I say before taking the longest out of everybody.
But you were over here doing research.
Okay, hold up. Nobody can know how excited I am for this.
Well,
Race.
I'm over here building character lore in my head. I am a Betazoid.
So like Freakazoid.
Pretty close.
Betazoids
Depends.
are mildly telepathic.
And empathic.
Ooh, like Jean
Yes.
Grey.
Are they mildly or are they telepathic?
So it kind of
Isn't Troy? She's half Betazoid.
Naturally
Much longer.
That's
telepathic.
right. Yeah,
Whoa.
she's fully telepathic.
There it is. Naturally
But-
telepathic, developing mental abilities during adolescence.
Yeah,
Oh, there we go.
The something of this ability, probably prevalence or power of this ability, varies between individuals.
Yeah.
There's also a big empathic side, which I thought would be good for a
Mm,
mhm.
medical.
Yeah, I was just
officer.
thinking,
that's
like,
not going
yeah.
to be me or Christian, I bet.
Okay.
They are
Okay.
peaceful as well.
So as a Betazoid, you get a bonus to insight, to presence, and to reason.
Woohoo.
Your species ability is telepathic. Betazoids can sense the minds of living creatures in their vicinity and can read the thoughts and emotions of others. Each Betazoid has either telepathy or empathy.
Oh, either.
Interesting.
Part
Ooh.
Betazoid characters generally have empathy rather than telepathy.
Who would be an
Hmm.
example of that?
So you're a full-blooded Betazoid.
Oh,
Are you? I'm asking.
that is a good question.
There's a question mark. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking for a medical officer, which would be more valuable? You would think immediately it'd be empathy, but also telepathy, because that would more take out the element of you're being lied to.
I was going to say, in
About-
the words of Dr. House, everybody lies.
Mhm,
Exactly.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Ooh, and I mean,
And he's a role model.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
very
a positive
ooh,
person.
you're changing all the thoughts I had about this. You can have empathy without telepathy, but you can't have.
Telepathy without empathy.
Well, I guess you can. You can read
Yeah, they're
you can read somebody's mind and be like, I don't give a
Pretty
crap.
separable things.
Yeah. I know some people who are pretty empathic. I'm pretty sure they're not telepathic.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's go. Let's.
That's what you
Ooh, let's go telepathy.
Yeah. Get
Full
into your,
Betazoid.
talent. Yeah.
Which species did the character grow up amongst?
Ooh.
Oh, no. Do I have options?
That's a new one.
You have all of the options.
Oh,
Acampas,
hold on though.
Orions.
A Betazoid growing up among the liberated Borg.
So you're
That
a
doesn't make that much
telepathic.
sense.
You're a telepathic person who has never really had any thoughts to read.
Yeah. Well, liberated
Maybe-
Borg would
maybe-
no longer be part of the collective, so I wouldn't be reading.
Oh yeah,
the...
that's like a Picard thing. Because we didn't see that too much until around then.
Yeah, you saw it in.
Yeah, people who got deborged.
You
Deborged.
saw it. You saw it a lot in.
That's what I do to my computer. I deborg it.
Yeah.
I was having the thought, like, would I, as a telepathic being, be reading the collective thoughts? But if they're deborged,
It sounds like a culinary thing. Have these been deborged? Yeah. Go ahead and cook them.
you know what? Go Klingon.
Okay.
Mhm.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because Worf the Klingon and Troy the Beta Z
They got
ended up
together, for a while.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. It wasn't my favorite hookup.
Yeah.
Attributes. Select one. Daring, fitness, or presence.
Daring.
You would have had to be to grow
Mhm.
up around Klingons. And a value.
All beings are shaped by their experiences. How do I make that shorter?
Doesn't have to be short.
All
So-
beings are shaped by experience.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
So nurture, not nature.
There it is. There it is.
Okay,
Well,
right.
but
Let's just go.
leave it
this.
with leave it as that.
That's the gist of it, though. I
Yeah.
agree. Character's home was one filled with potential of science and cutting edge developments were familiar ground. Perhaps the character was raised by scientists or engineers or had mentors or teachers who encouraged a talent for the technical. Did you accept or rebel against your upbringing?
Except
Gives you a +2 to control and a +1 to reason. So you get a bonus to one of your departments.
all right,
Are
we
we
went
gonna see
medicine.
Wicked?
Let's also go engineering.
I'm quiet. Sorry.
Xenobiology. For my
Ooh.
focus. Study of the biology of different species.
Alien species.
You're so smart.
Let's do science and command.
Mm.
Excuse me.
It's not just your thing.
Bossy doctor.
Bossy pants. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Focuses. All right, give me some
Bossy.
generated ones.
Kind of what I do.
Well, we already had that one.
But you nailed it.
Anthropology. Botany.
Internal medicine. That'd be a good
I'm
one.
just getting some ideas. Keep going.
Virology.
Oh, botany.
Sorry, Jason.
Botany.
Yep,
Don't mess up my chords.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
botany. Virology.
Emergency medicine. That could be good. When
That
first
could
trying to
be
get
good.
shot.
And
Infectious disease. If we get COVID.
well, it's kind of it's not included in virology, but
Physics.
I mean, I like the idea of emergency medicine or like trauma.
I'm looking at trauma
Genetics.
surgery.
Genetics. So we
Let's do trauma surgery.
multiple-
Mm.
One more value. Willing to sacrifice myself to save my crew.
No, I'm
Boo.
needed.
I'm important. Good leaders get their hands dirty.
Well, that's kind of a given.
Mission comes first. Sensors
Oh,
can't
I
tell you
like
everything. Oh, sorry.
Sensors can't tell you everything.
That'd be very good for a Betazoid.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 2 career events.
Dealing with plague.
Okay.
Got a +1 to insight and a +1 to medicine.
Mm-hmm.
You did glean a focus from this. So maybe what kind of plague? What did you learn from the plague?
COVID.
I'm thinking
We've all.
either infectious disease or emergency medicine, because I already have emergency. And I have virology too. Okay, hold on.
Vaccine
The character
synthesis.
gains a focus which could reflect how they helped during the crisis. What about medical technology development?
All right.
Death of a friend.
It's interesting that it's.
Oh.
I got some lore going here.
What's a focus that you zeroed in on based on that experience? How did your friend
Yeah,
die?
what did your friend die of?
Probably the infectious disease
Ah.
that I pioneered new technology for.
Mm.
But it was too late.
Yeah, I've got some lore going.
going to say that.
Maybe some
Hey,
mRNA
good drama.
synthetics.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Give me some generated things on this one.
Or counseling. Cultural grief practices.
Oh.
Ooh.
Counseling again.
Palliative care.
Cultural
Well-
grief practices. Anesthesia and pain management. Ooh, it was a very slow death.
That's the one.
Yikes, that would crush me.
Can I have some codeine?
No. Stunned.
Sleep.
Yes, it's the sleep button on your phaser. I will say that reason is the governing attribute for medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's do reason.
How do you know that it's it's the governing?
because I've read the book front to back.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Just wondering. I mean,
No, I mean,
it's a really specific thing to say.
Yeah,
so.
like it's just so the way that will happen is when you try to do an action, and we decide that it's a contested action. In other words, something you have to roll to see if you succeed.
right.
Right. The way you do it is you get 2 dice, 2 d20s,
Mhm.
so 2 20-sided dice. You will take the attribute that most directly relates to that
Okay.
and the discipline that most closely relates to that.
Okay.
Add those numbers together.
Mhm.
And when you roll your dice, if you get that number or lower, it's a success.
Okay.
So, for example, in this moment, if she had to do an action that required daring plus command,
Right.
she needs to roll a 12 or under to get a success.
Got it.
So with 2 dice, you would roll somewhere between 0 and 2 successes. Actually, that's not true because if you get a 1, that's like a natural 20 in D&D. That's a critical success, which counts as 2. So technically, I guess it is possible, but very unlikely that she could roll 2 1s and she would have 4 successes.
Okay.
And what happens is the successes that you need are related to the difficulty of the task. So if I said for this task, it's a difficulty of 2, then when she rolls this, she needs 2 successes or it fails.
Got it.
But if she gets more successes than she needs, that goes into what's called your momentum pool. Everyone shares momentum pool because it's teamwork. So all that means is things are going well, you're working together.
Right.
Pulling from momentum allows you to cheat, basically.
So like pull from the extra.
Correct. So you
Right.
could add an extra dice.
Got it.
It's like
Or-
the community chest.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. So like it's, hey man, like say you're trying to do something really friggin' hard. All right. You need 4 successes.
The chances of you getting that with 2 dice is almost nothing.
Right.
Boss, I'm going to spend 3 momentum and have 3 extra dice. Now getting 4 successes is not that big of a stretch.
Got it.
And then maybe Nick says, I'm going to spend a momentum to assist. So now he gets to add his dice into yours too. Now we're rolling 6 dice. Things like that.
That sounds
You're
so much.
That's a
It's actually, once you do it once or twice, it actually gets really intuitive.
Okay.
That's all it is. It just lets you cheat. My version of that is threat. So
you being the
game master.
the DM.
Yeah. So I don't get to cheat. I don't get to just do whatever I want. I have that same resource pool, but mine is called threat. And that's why there are some things on here that say you can trade a bonus, but it's going to increase the threat.
Got it.
So basically you can cheat a little bit, but that means I get to cheat a little bit too.
Well, fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 more talent starting randomly in the middle. Well, it's just so we don't
Hold
keep
on,
reading.
sorry.
the same
Doctor's orders.
Hold on.
Your diagnostic expert.
Don't you
Hold
die
on.
on me.
Hold on. When you succeed in a medicine test,
Don't you die on me.
obtain information, doctor's orders.
With the southern accent.
Well, see, when
Don't you down.
this list is based on the requirements. So like now that your medicine is basically
Ooh.
maxed out, you have access to talents that normally you would not have access to.
This requires a daring and medicine task with a difficulty of 3, and I've got pretty high stats in daring and medicine, so I
If
could
you
be
did
pretty
not-
successful at that.
If you did not meet the requirements for this, it wouldn't be on here. So
Okay,
there's
okay,
nothing
okay.
on here that you don't qualify for.
Hmm.
It filters out the ones that you don't.
I
qualify.
feel like "Don't You Die on Me" is probably
good.
pretty useful for when somebody's butt gets kicked,
Yep.
like suddenly,
Let's do
without
that.
warning. Let's do that one.
All right. What's that
good
name?
point. The only thing, lyrics. Oh, look, Kestra is on there. That's my cat's name. Lyrix.
Cool.
Could have gone with Kestra, but I have a cat named Kestra.
Yes. I don't know why I did that.
All right, my rank. What is?
What about
my
your
rank?
last name?
Do you have a family name?
Nah.
What?
I
Even
gave
the
up.
one I gave.
It makes sense though. She didn't have a family growing up. She was an orphan.
Are you?
She was raised amongst the Klingons.
That's a lot to me.
Come
Let's
on.
get deep. You are lyrics of house
Oh.
because you were raised in a Klingon household.
Oh.
Klingons
also-
don't have last names.
But Betazoids also do house as well.
That's true.
So
Or lyrics, daughter of.
Ah. Do the next one. Conan. Konin. I like that more. It's more
Barbarian.
more Klingon. Yeah. Pastime. Composition.
Oh my.
what kind?
English.
Musical.
Okay.
Export.
All right. Nicholas,
Mhm.
All right.
you are up.
What species do you want to be, dog?
Wait, who am I? What am I doing? What is my superpower?
Yeah.
You're going to be the operations manager.
And that keeps everything going, right?
You should do
Correct.
just the
Okay.
one that Josh can't pronounce, Denobulin,
Denobulin.
to make him say it as many times as
Denobulin.
Do you remember
Okay.
who the Denobulin was?
That's the
No, I
leading
don't.
candidate right now. Scroll down.
You
please.
Have you seen Enterprise?
So trills are neat because a trill is actually 2 creatures.
Mhm.
Or at least the cool ones are. So the trill themselves are a humanoid race. They look fairly human-like,
Mhm.
with the exception of they have spots that run down the sides of their bodies and on either side, and that's it. But what's neat about them is they have a symbiotic relationship with another species, which creatively they just refer to as symbiotes. The symbiotes live for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So when they join with a new host, one of the human trill, their personalities fuse together, but they also remember all the people they've been before.
No, I'm cool with human.
All
That's
right.
kind of what I was leaning forward to begin with, anyway.
Okay.
Do you want to be a Klingon?
No,
Okay.
ew. I don't want forehead stuff.
Well,
What was it?
I don't want
Family
forehead
Guy where
stuff.
they had Michael Dorn come on who plays Worf, and they were doing a parody of Star Trek, and Riker said something to Worf, and Worf goes, "Suck my ridges."
Okay, I want reason, insight, and control.
Very good. Where did you grow up?
I want to grow up in a starship.
Okay.
mm,
Cool.
That would make a lot of sense for knowing how to run a starship.
Thank
It would.
Because remember, the captain makes the decisions, but he doesn't run the starship.
right.
Operations runs the starship.
Insight, please. and engineering.
Okay. Willing to sacrifice himself, save the crew. A good mystery is irresistible. Crew comes first.
Mm-mm.
Diplomacy is the first and last.
Mhm.
He said,
sorry.
Diplomacy is the
Diplomacy.
first and last solution to anything.
As if I rebel
If you reject it,
or reject.
I mean, it's the same thing. You would get a +2 to daring and a +1 to insight.
I don't think I want daring though. I think I want to stay within the rules.
If you accepted, you get a +2 to control and a +1 to fitness.
Wait, do reject one more time. Sorry.
It's okay.
Control, fitness.
Daring and insight versus.
It changes the attributes that are
Yeah.
affected too. Interesting.
I think I do want that insight, but I don't really care for the daring. The other one was fitness and control.
Which again,
Yeah, I think I want to
For
keep that
your-
actually.
Yeah.
I want to accept it.
which I mean, it makes sense. You grew up on a Starfleet ship. Both of your parents were probably officers.
Mm-hmm.
You liked that. It was the way you grew up and you embraced it. That's what you decided to do once you were grown.
Yeah.
Okay. And you get to pick a talent, except not an augmented ability. I wish I had an option to turn that off.
Whenever you attempt a task with command, you buy one more d20s. That's
One more dice.
right?
Yep.
By adding a threat, you may re-roll a single. Let's do that one.
Yeah.
Bold command, general.
So normally when you buy a dice, you would spend some of your momentum.
Mhm.
He has the option to instead give me some threat. So give me some momentum in exchange for his dice. And he gets to re-roll
Gotcha.
if he doesn't like the outcome.
That's cool.
What is that? What is that? Done the second one?
Presence.
Presence.
That's like your ability to influence others.
Yeah, I like that.
Is that like charisma?
Yeah.
Okay.
They call it Riz now.
Sure.
That's why they call it.
Are you
Oh,
just?
boy, the
Yep,
last
that's
just
You
crossed
just
the
got-
finish line.
There we go.
I've never put the two concepts together before. I knew what Riz was, just didn't realize it came
There's
from
now like
charisma.
Rizzler, the guy who gets all. He has the most Riz. They call him the Rizzler.
Like the
Interesting.
Riddler, I
He's
get
the
it.
short, fat kid. It's really stupid. Go ahead. Espionage. That's unnecessary.
No.
Board tactical.
Shipboard tactical systems.
Oh, transporters.
Yeah, transporters and replicators would be cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Beam Scotty.
Yeah, that's how that
That's
works.
out.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's what
transporters
it
and
is.
replicators use the same technology.
Oh, I get two in that one because
Yeah.
and conjunction.
English is important.
Uh-huh. I want a little hand-to-hand combat just in case. I need to
Just in case, that's
slap
fine.
a bitch.
Look at you being all well-rounded.
Thank you.
Good Starfleet.
I was going to say, wouldn't Starfleet
Yeah.
try
We're
to
up
be
on the
well-rounded?
streets of the starship. My score. What is my score?
Well, I mean, it would just depend.
Like what I roll?
Yeah, so like I said, the number you're shooting for is a discipline and a attribute added up together.
Mhm.
If you see a situation where someone has to make that roll and you know yours is higher,
Mhm.
you can use that
I see.
skill and say, use my number instead.
To make sure that it's successful.
Mhm.
Does that affect my anything?
No, basically what it's saying is you're so knowledgeable that as long as you're in the same scene and you see someone doing something in real life, that'd be like, no, do that.
I'd help them. Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, let's do that.
Okay, which one for which?
Collaboration. Command.
Okay.
Whenever you acquire an engineering tool, the opportunity cost, the equipment trait from the tool scan. Let me see. So that helps the person complete the task.
Correct.
If I'm in the same room, if I'm there with it.
Correct. You have to physically be in the room.
Saboteur. Sorry, I'm just reading now.
Or if you wanted to stick with the transporter, you can be the transporter chief. You're well versed in the operation of transporter systems and can often get them to function in extreme circumstances or to achieve outcomes that few could manage.
I feel like that would be important.
That could
And
be
from a
really
narrative
good to
standpoint,
pull out
it opens
later.
up a lot of options.
Like if Corey's about to get swarmed by,
Correct. And there's like a ton of interference, and normally you would not be able to make that roll.
yeah.
Mhm.
If
It's like,
Corey's
okay,
getting-
but you are a super experienced transporter chief who has seen this before or something similar.
if Corey's like on a planet of peanut butter and eggs,
Get him out of there.
and he needs to get out, then I
Probably
makes
wouldn't have
sense.
gone there to begin with. But
Well,
Might
but
not
like
have been
you're
your
the
You didn't
only
know.
one.
You didn't know when
You
you
didn't
were
know.
Yeah.
They just come out of the caves. And you're like, oh no,
Chief medical officer
Yep,
can only
yep,
do
yep.
so much for you then.
right?
Yeah,
Okay,
once you're
let's do
dead.
that one. I like
Yeah.
that.
Although I do have that "Don't you die" on me.
That's right. She can bring
So,
it
but
back.
if you
So-
can't get up on the thing, then you're gonna have to go down.
I can only save you if you're like a little bit dead, not if you're super
there.
dead.
Right.
It's only mostly dead.
I think I want to call out a superior.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That gives you a +1 to reason. So it
Mhm.
sounds like you were
Oh.
probably in the right.
As
And a
long-
+1 to con. Not sure why it gives you a +1 to con, but okay.
just to fly away from the bad guy.
Sure.
Focus roll, please. Wait, Uniform Code of Justice. I like it.
These are really good
Wait,
suggestions.
Starfleet
Oh,
Protocol.
God.
That one. That's what I want. Sorry.
No, that works for your job. This is how we're supposed to do these things.
Whoever did this is a G for real.
Mhm.
All right,
yeah,
you
this
get
is
to pick one more.
incredible.
So you called out your boss.
Mm-hmm.
What else happened?
What if I called him out again?
I don't-
We call that a problem with authority.
At what point do we just kick you out?
Yeah, I feel like no, required to take command.
That's a good
Required
one.
to do it.
Okay. So that gives you a +1 to daring because you were doing something you probably weren't ready for. And you get a +1 to command because there's nothing like experience.
I want composure on that. I had to take over, and I was like,
Gotta stay cool.
you know, where the sound goes off, and you just go.
Yes. Clear the mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you had a very specific idea in your head.
I did. I saw it. I
Yeah.
literally saw it. I looked at J.J. Abrams' Flash.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The lens flare.
Mm-hmm. That's the word. You attempt to task, that's the problem.
In the nick of time.
Well, I guess that's like my job, right? Like mitigating issues.
Can be, yeah. I would accept that. That's the other thing. This is such a free flowing thing. If you make an
Yeah.
argument for why I should do something, if it's not stupid, I'll do it.
Let me do. I know my ship.
I was gonna say it says engineering, but I would broaden that to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like it's your ship, you know what's happening on it.
Oh, you got to pee? It's there's a secret bathroom over there. It's right there. Knock on the door 3 times. It'll open.
All right, your name.
Name.
Best part.
Nick's gonna be a ranking officer here.
Hey,
Him
Oh,
and,
wow.
Ew.
him and Jason. Yeah.
Cool.
we got it.
Yeah, we
Don't
do.
kill this thing. I would like to be Roger.
Okay.
Do you have a D in your Roger?
No.
Oh,
Next time. No space, please. No space.
Oh God.
Okay.
And pronouns are he, him.
Wait, what's your last name, Roger?
He, him, his. Oh, Roger.
That.
Roger
Smith.
No, it's too white. Roger.
It's the alien from
Williams.
American Dad.
Roger Williams. Roger Washington.
Freeman.
Roger Washington.
Okay.
On the
On the
USS
USS
Roosevelt.
That's it.
Woo-wee.
We did it.
So we're all experienced. Nobody's a vet. Nobody's a novice.
Wow.
That,
Yes,
that was an experience.
it was.
This will be heavily edited.
Oh, God.
You won't see the 2.5 hours that this was,
Yeah, let's be very clear. Just full transparency. Doing this was about 2.5 hours.
at
right.
least.
Sorry.
So, yeah. What comes next?
From here, I will go home and hammer out the details for our first adventure. It should actually take less time than creating our characters. And I will also get everyone's 3D models made up so you can see what you all look like
Ooh.
when we start. Hopefully, I'll have lots of visual aids for when we start next time.
I need good quads.
You'll be yoked. That's fine.
Awesome.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
That sounds like this is gonna be a lot of fun.
This is gonna
Yeah.
be great.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, all right. It's been a long night here, but with our characters made, that's going to wrap us up here for session 0 of Star Trek Adventures here on Eat Sleep Nerd. Make sure you stay tuned as we get ready to go where this channel has never gone before, because in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be getting back together to sit down and record the first full episode of Star Trek Adventures. So don't forget to hit subscribe here on youtube.com/@EatSleepNerd. Click the like on this video and hit the bell icon so you can get notified when that first episode airs. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave some comments and share us with your friends and family over on social media. And until next time, live long and prosper. Take it easy, people.